Hello Seren Editors, my name is Sinclair, I'm Seren's editor in 2020-2021, and this is the first of 3 videos intended to give you a basic knowledge of how to create an article, how to safely get an image for it, and how to get it drafted onto our website ready for upload. And all that without breaking any laws or your sanity. Without further ado, this video will be focusing on how to find an article, write it, and upload it into our proofreading system. So, step 1. Let's find something to write about. Now, what works best for you is going to vary a lot depending on which section you're writing for, so these aren't must-dos but a list of can-dos. I like to start with the simple stuff, newsletters and mailing lists. If you know there's an organization relevant to your section, seek out where they post their updates, their news, and if you can, subscribe to have them sent straight to your Seren email address. For example, one organization I know everyone in Seren should be keeping track of is rather obvious: Bangor University. Another good solution for keeping up to date is the Google Alerts system. Here you can type in sets of keywords and get daily alerts to your email whenever they appear together. Try not to be too specific or you might get nothing. Try not to be too broad or you might get everything. Obviously, both mailing lists and alerts rely on one basic principle: checking your email. And checking your email is the most important step of all, because sometimes the articles come to you. Another important method of keeping abreast of the news is keeping an ear open and engaging with other student activities. When I was gaming editor in my first year, I posted monthly in the Facebook groups of Bangor's gaming societies to ask for any news and invite people to write articles for the section. As long as you're respectful, and don't do this so frequently that you annoy anyone, this is a great thing to do. And if a Seren member sends you an article for your section, fantastic! You didn't have to find it or write it. But remember that it is your job to read it. The quality of your section is your responsibility, and you're the first step in the proofing system. The article I've written today, I found because of 2 mailing lists dropping press releases into my inbox, each on the opposite side of a conflict. I then did a bit of quick Googling to better understand the context of what I'd been sent, and also to see what additional information I could find. Don't be discouraged if there are a lot of other outlets telling the story. We're not here to compete with The Guardian. We're here to filter out the stories relevant or of interest to Bangor students, aggregate all the relevant information we can find, and bring them to their doorstep, metaphorically. And the best possible thing you can do is create articles directly linked to Bangor students. Article about something happening to students in the UK? Good. Article about something happening to students in Wales? Better. Articles about something happening at Bangor University? The best. I know a lot of the advice I'm giving seems more relevant to news or politics, but don't forget that Bangor students are constantly creating art, performing theater, writing books, training sports to defeat Aberystwyth again. There's a lot to tap into. The last bit of advice I'll leave you with is to be ambitious. Don't get caught up in being a student journalist. Be a journalist. If you want to interview someone, email them and ask. If there's an event you want to report on, but it's too pricey for you, ask them for a press pass. And if that latter says no, you can also ask Seren's committee. Sure, sometimes people will say no, sometimes they won't respond. But often they say yes, especially if they're local. I think it really surprises editors to find that most of the time, the only thing between you and a really interesting experience is asking. Plus, you can get a kick-ass article out of it. Okay. Enough on finding the topic. How do we write the article? Well, there's a concept in journalism called the inverse pyramid, and that's what you want to keep in mind. And this is what it boils down to. Put the important stuff at the top. The beginning of the article should tell the reader what you're talking about and encourage them to read more. The middle should be the meat of your article, the detail. And the end should be extra information for those interested, and/or your opinion or conclusion. Now, not every article is going to fit into this structure perfectly. If you're writing the article Top 5 Books by Welsh Authors, you're effectively writing 5 mini-articles with 5 mini-pyramids. But for most articles, the inverse pyramid is king. If your article is more hard news oriented, that is to say more of a who, what, where, when, why, how, than an opinionated piece or review, then this version of the triangle is useful. This is the structure of a hard news article, and here is the story I was sent earlier written up as one. You start with a short, snappy title. This title is too long, to be honest, but you have to know the rules before you break them. Then you have the intro. This should still be very short, 1 or 2 fairly short sentences. Then some essential detail. Then your best quotes. then more detail for those still interested, then your secondary quotes, and then your last bit of detail, or potentially a bit of your own opinion or conclusions. Now, the last thing we need to do is get this beauty proofed. For that, just access your Seren email, navigate to the Google Drive, and then to our proofing drive. Go into To Proof, find your section. In this case, I'm going to put this article in Politics. Create a new document, like so. Create and share. And just go get your article. Copy it, and paste it in there. Sometimes it gets a little weird with the formatting. You can fix it in here if it does that. And don't forget the byline. Don't forget who wrote the article. Then you need to go to the name of your article. And the first thing you need to have in there is To Proof. The second thing is the name of the section the article is in. So in this case, Politics. And the third thing, which Google Drive has helpfully done for me, is the name of the article. And that is it. Done. If you're uploading this to meet a regular content deadline, it will get proofed on proofing day. If it's an urgent article, contact the editor or deputy editor to get it fast-tracked. At current, that editor would be me, Sinclair Davis, and that deputy editor would be Thomas Ewing. The next video will be on how to get an image for your article and put it right here in this very same proofing drive.